Hi there, how's it going? This is Cross the Rubicon channel and this is my third video today. I've just been thinking, you know why Maori are at the very bottom of all the negative statistics in New Zealand? It's because their leaders have failed them. People like Willie Jackson, JT, Harawera, and now this Tukaki, and many more, Pita Sharples, Tariana Turia, many before, many now, many more. They've forever been telling young, impressionable Maori men how all their ills and all their behaviours is not their fault. The fault of all their ill behaviours and bad behaviours is the fault of Pākehā, basically the white man, for stealing their land. And this has made a lot of Maori, young men especially, very, very angry and turned them to violence, to gangs, and added to their very bad behaviours. And the end result is them being in prison, and the cycle continues and it keeps on continuing. For many years I listened to Willie Jackson and JT and others, forever blaming Pākehā for all the ills of Maori. And now this new fella on the block, Tukaki, is doing the same thing. Just goes on and on. They are never held responsible for their own actions. Willie Jackson only said just a few weeks ago that he doesn't see gangs, he sees whānau. And for them outside New Zealand, whānau is family. It's madness what's going on, but Willie Jackson, JT, and all the rest I've mentioned, they've made a good living out of Maori dysfunction because they've gave speeches and they've got to positions of power by complaining and complaining, basically to the governments of the day, and to get money to fix the problems. And I mean big money, I mean millions upon millions, hundreds and hundreds of millions, to fix the problems of Maori that these people had no intention of fixing, because they've made good living, a very good living, out of Maori being at the bottom of all the bad statistics. And that is the truth. Willie Jackson all the time blames everybody else. I wonder how many houses Willie Jackson's got. I've heard he's got about 3 or 4 houses in Auckland. They don't come cheap in Auckland, houses. I wonder how he's accumulated his wealth. It's always by playing the race card all day long, every day. Willie Jackson can't go through a day without saying the word racist. Maybe 100 times. Same for all of them, all the rest. They play the race card over and over and over and over again, very successfully. But now New Zealand is waking up to these people, and they're not taking these people seriously anymore, and that's a good thing. And I like to think my contribution has contributed to that, and Damien Dement and Terry O'Pines and Carol Saki and many others have also contributed to informing people of what these people are doing to Maori themselves. Because these Maori, the ones I'm talking about, Willie Jackson and all his mates, and now the new kids on the block, Rawiri Waititi and Debbie Packer and all the rest, they make fortunes out of Maori dysfunction. Fortunes. And they will continue because they get their votes. They want to keep them poor and say they're championing their causes. But when they get money from the government, they become very rich, and Maori are not really lifted out of poverty, ever. Well, that's my view on it, and I think I'm bang on the button. I think I'm right over the target by saying this. It's a perpetual state of anger with these, Maori and these academics. Well, I don't think Willie Jackson's an academic, nor Rawiri Waititi or Debbie Packer, but they are in very influential jobs. And they are creaming it, absolutely creaming it. Do you think the man in the street, the Maori in the street, the high-vis Maori is going to get anything from Hey Pua Pua? They get nothing. Iwi, the very top of Iwi, and Maori politicians, the elites, the super elites of Maori, they're going to become very, very wealthy. Nothing will filter down. Nothing. I have lots of support from Maori, believe it or not. Lots of support. And they've got my phone number and they support me. They phone me up and support me, Maori. But them same Maori are in fear of standing up because they get threatened with violence. And Maori, well, they tend to use violence against their own much worse than what they do against a Pākehā. Or for anyone outside New Zealand, against a white man or a European or a Caucasian, if you like. But yes, but these people, these Rawiri Waititis, Debbie Packer, Willie Jackson, Matthew Tukaki, Tariana Turia, Pita Sharples, the lot, Honey Harawera, have been using Maori for years. They just use them to benefit themselves. That's all they've ever done. They've all become very, 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 very wealthy. None of them have got their hands dirty at all, ever. And it will continue. It will continue as long as, well, the Pākehā of New Zealand, which is 80-something%, they'll continue to turn a blind eye and show absolute weakness in the face of these bullies. And they are bullies. These people are nasty, very nasty bullies. And the above mentioned, when I came here 20 years ago, I educated myself on a lot of Maori history. And I started making noises. I started phoning radio stations up. I used to talk to Michael Laws. I used to talk to Willie Jackson and JT quite often. But because I was in the prison service at the time, I had to change my accent. I was Irish or I was Scottish or I was from Manchester or whatever. I had to change my accent, obviously, because I was a public servant at the time. But they could never turn me over. So instead, they just take the mick and just cut me off. That's what they did. Even Michael Laws. But, yeah, these people love it. They feast off Maori dysfunction because they make a great fortune from it, a great living. So there you go. That's my take on it. And they will continue to make young Maori men, males, act out by telling them the reason you're the way you are is because of the white man stole your land and you're oppressed. They will never say, just get your life together, pick yourself up, leave the gang and get a job and be respectable. They will never ever say that. They will just say everything's the fault of the white man. And that's just the truth. So there you go. This is Cross the Rubicon. Please like, please subscribe, share this everywhere. See you later.